North's resentment of the proposed tax reform bills are currently at the National Assembly has expanded as Northern youths attacked Deputy Senate President Senator Barau Jibrin yesterday, accusing him of being insensitive to the region. They described the bill as anti-North, saying it would further relegate the region economically. The youth representing 19 northern states said the lawmaker representing Kano North Senatorial District knows the bills will not serve the region's interests. Ever since the proposed laws were sent by President Bola Tinubu to the National Assembly, lawmakers of northern extraction have been expressing worries. The executive arm of government had said the bills will ensure uniformity in tax revenue administration across Nigeria, eliminate double taxation, use taxation to encourage private sector investment in critical industries, and boost disposable incomes through targeted tax exemptions. Last week, the bills passed second reading in the Senate despite notable objections from some lawmakers. Senate leader Obayemi Bamidele described the proposed fiscal laws as a significant move to overhaul the country's tax system. However, the North is united in its opposition as all sections of its leadership consider the bills as being against the region's socio-economic development. The latest in the opposition by the North is the attack on Senate number 2 man, Senator Jibrin, by Northern Youth Assembly. They were particularly angry over the fact that the Deputy Senate President presided over the sitting where the bills passed second reading. The plenary was disrupted by anger and a shouting match over the bills, which came up for debate despite not being listed as an item for the day's business. In an open letter signed by Ali Mohammed Idris and Abdul Hafiz Garba, President and Secretary respectively of Northern Youth Assembly, the youth said yesterday that Jibrin's position on the bills doesn't represent the interest of the North. Chief Jackson, what is your take on the position of the Northerners? Most of them, because not all, most of the Northerners or the Northern leaders with respect to the tax reform bill?
Honestly, I sympathize with the people of the North.
Why?
To me, instead of them to look inward to see how they could encourage or advise their governors to improve on productivity, instead of that, they are supporting their governor blindly. This tax we are talking about, just like the governor of Borno State, the man I respect so much.
Governor Zulum?
Yes, that's my number one governor in Nigeria.
Okay.
Just like he said, which I faulted him, that this thing was going to affect the North, that Lagos is going to gain from this thing better than any other part of the country. And why? I say why, because to me,
Governor Zulum said it will benefit Lagos and River State, or just Lagos?
Lagos.
More than any other part?
More than any other part of the country. Because most of the products we are talking about, like the banks, almost all the banks in Nigeria, they have their headquarters, head offices in Lagos. And it's Lagos they are going to pay their tax to. Most of the manufacturing industries, they are either in Lagos or Ogun State. Most of their tax are going to be paid to that place. That is the
standard. You mean now or with this tax reform? If this tax passed?
Exactly. So if that is this thing, so to me, what I would have been expecting is that Lagos State have so much manufacturing companies, production industries and others. Why not the North too bring something like that to Kano or to Kaduna?
Well, when you look at it critically, Chief Jackson, actually what you just said is what is actually applicable now.
I am quoting the governor verbatim.
Hold on. what is applicable now?
Yes.
You know, the controversial part of this bill that is raising so much dust, particularly from the northern angle, is with respect to the VAT. You understand? And the derivation, the sharing, and how companies pay and all of that. Now, with regards to what is obtainable now,
Yes.
is that companies pay according to areas or states of headquarters.
Yes.
And that is why it appears that FCT, Lagos State, and River State receive the highest in payment of VAT. Because most of these headquarters are either in FCT or in Lagos or in River State. But with this current tax reform bill now, it will now be from states of consumption.
Yes.
So what it means is that every other state will now get to enjoy this tax. As long as the company is domiciled in your state, whether it has the headquarters or there or not, whatever that is generated there, they pay the tax to that state. Now, this is where the issue now comes.
The state of consumption, you said.
Yes, the tax will now, there'll be this with the current tax reform bill.
Yes.
Payment of VAT now will be according to state of consumption, not state of headquarters, not where these companies are headquartered. Now, this is where the issue now comes in. Let me give you an instance, alcohol, because that has been part of the conversation, the ongoing conversation. Alcohol, for example, some of the northern states abhor alcohol.
I don't want to go into the area of alcohol because of religion.
Hold on.
Yes.
It is part of the conversation, actually. People are delving into it. Now, when these monies are generated, most of the VAT, even at that, according to the derivation formula, these states also get monies, though lesser than the states of where it's headquartered. The remaining is still shared across all states on that fact. But now, it will not be that way anymore. So what it means is, if in this part of the world, we say we do not consume this, and we do not want this for whether religion or tradition or whatever, and that particular company is not domiciled in the state, you cannot be enjoying what you don't consume. Now, this is where the issue is coming. In the north, the question now would be, how many of these production companies are in the north? But now, Nigerians forget, or one would now ask, the north has solid minerals. They are heavily into mining. May I remind you, Chief Jackson, and every other person listening, that some solid nations, some wealthy nations in the world right now, I mean, their wealth is built on gold. Saudi Arabia, for example, UAE, for example, they have gold and they have oil. They are not running on mono economy like Nigeria. The north have good reserve of gold. They have good reserve of diamonds.
Let us cut it one by one.
Let's look at these things holistically. So that I want you to look at it holistically and marry these things. If they are crying on one end, how about this other end?
Which other end?
Solid minerals, mining, for example.
They are in the northern Nigeria. Their major occupation is farming. 90% of the beans we consume in the south is from the north.
Yes.
90% of yam we consume here is from the north. Garlic, 90% from the north. Ginger, 90% is from the north. The wheat that is not imported into this country from Ukraine or Russia, 90% of it is from the north.
Yes.
Granite, 90% of it is from the north. These are the things that they produce. Then the consumption is in the south. That is part of the reason we are just talking about alcoholic. What about the wheat, the yam, the garlic, the ginger, the beans?
Cash crops, basically.
Yes, that they are producing there, but we are consuming here. That is what they are talking about. The problem, what is bringing about all this thing is that we are not one united Nigeria. If you go to the US, go to any state in the US, if they ask you, where are you from? I'm an American. That's what we hear. But here, where are you from? I'm from Osun State. Where are you from? I'm from Sokoto State. If we are one united Nigeria, as we pronounce it and we practice it, all these things will not happen. No. If that is the case, petroleum products that are manufactured, that are produced in Rivers State, what the entire South cannot consume in a month, Lagos State will consume in 6 months. That means Lagos too will enjoy it more than here. That's what we are talking about. And when we are talking of solid minerals, when did the state government got the permission to exploit it?
Go ahead.
What is the Ministry of Solid Minerals doing? Are they collaborating with the states?
Are you aware that mining is heavily going on in the north?
Illegally.
And it is
illegally.
Also, and it is also besides
illegally.
That,
it's even going on in Osun State too. Gold.
It is also privatized too. Are you also aware that mining of gold, of diamond, we have gold, and then we have diamonds in commercial quantities.
Yes.
In commercial quantities.
Yes.
In the north. Yet Nigeria is running on mono economy from oil in the south.
Do you blame that one on the north?
No, hold on. Oil is on the exclusive lists.
Why not gold be on the exclusive list?
That is the question now. That's why I am asking a simple question. If the north is saying that this tax reform bill, because of the way it's going to be, that is going to affect the north negatively, one would wonder, is the north not wealthy enough? Because I am looking at what's the reserve we have in the north.
Don't let us waste time on this.
Okay, go ahead.
I am against this.
All right. What are
because this is dividing Nigeria.
You are against the tax reform?
Yes, because if it's going to divide this country on ethnic, regional lines, I'm against it. Let us, whatever that can unite us, is what we should be doing.
When you say dividing us against ethnic, religious lines,
is it not dividing us already?
How do you mean exactly?
Why are the northern traditional institutions, some political elites, the youth, and others in the north, why are they, even the governors, why are they crying now?
Now let's look at this. Let's look at this again. You talked about famine in the north, yes? Now, I have done my background check to find out if there are countries in the world that are built on agriculture as their economy.
What is Barbados? What about Barbados?
Interestingly,
what is
United
Barbados?
Nations.
What about Malaysia and others?
Interestingly,
yes.
US is one of the countries whose economy depends heavily on agriculture. In fact, as at 2023, United States was the top exporter of agricultural products to the tune of $178.7 billion. Exportation of agricultural products alone. Then we have China, we have India, we have Russia, we have Mexico, we have Germany, we have Ukraine. Remember, it was still Ukraine that gave Nigerians palliatives of grains.
I don't believe.
Now, is it impossible?
All this history and analysis we are making is against my own stand.
The question
my own stand is that we should, if we want to remain a one indivisible united Nigeria, let us remain one indivisible Nigeria. Let tax not begin to divide us.
Chief Jackson Lekojo.
Yes.
Do you agree with mono economy?
Why will I agree on mono economy? Am I running mono economy?
Second.
Am I running mono economy?
Second question, Chief Jackson.
I have interest in oil and gas. I have interest in security. I have interest in agriculture.
Right. Second question, Chief Jackson Leko.
And don't let me forget first.
Yes.
Let me condemn the activities and the attitude of the northern youths by attacking the Deputy Senate President. It's nonsensical. It's not acceptable. when the Senate President is sitting down there, or the Deputy Senate President is presiding over, is no longer representing the North or representing a direct central district. He is sitting down there, as he's sitting down there as the Senate President, he is sitting down there holding Nigeria as his constituency. So, but you are expecting somebody to sit at the position of Senate President, either temporarily or whatever, and you are expecting the president to be using that office to do the bidding of his direct constituency is nonsensical.
All right.
Jibrin Barau has done the normal thing he should do.
Okay.
When he's no longer in that position, he will now be representing his direct central district.
The reservations of the Northern Youth was at the speedy passage of the tax reform bill. Now that's he
had the gavel. Jibrin Barau had the gavel.
So he's not
presiding
not
over.
sitting as a representative.
Does he have the weighted vote?
His people. All right.
Does he have the weighted vote? To say, okay, because of this vote we are going to decide the presiding Senate President has 10 voice vote. No.
All right, very well.
The man is doing the right thing he should do. The attack on him is uncalled for.
All right, very well. Now, Chief Jackson, we'll still go back to the conversation we were having before you addressed this.
Yes, let's go.
I asked you if you're okay with mono economy. You said you were not okay.
How can I be okay with mono economy?
Very well. Now, if you're not okay with mono economy, and what is actually, because you're seeing the tax reform bill, while I'm not actually dwelling into the nitty-gritties of this tax reform bill, but we are looking at the reaction of northern leaders on the tax reform bill based on their statement that it is not going to favor the North economically. Yes? Now, I am looking at what the North has as an economic advantage. Hold on, Chief Jackson.
Okay.
I am looking at what the North has as an economic advantage that is not even in the exclusive list, and that other nations of the world have built on this, what the North has, and they are about the richest nations in the world. I've given you US as an example, how the economy is strong based on agriculture.
I know.
Hold on. Saudi Arabia, on the other hand, gold, even though they have oil as well.
Yeah.
Now, we are crying. Nigeria's budget last year, deficit. Every budget Nigeria has ever had, deficit. 2025 budget is still going to be on deficit and projection on BPD of oil. Now, the president is taking loans up and down. Our debt ratio is on a crazy high right now.
We
are still running mono economy. Now, to a large extent, is it not now left for the regions that feel, okay, this is not going to exactly benefit us, to look inwards into what they have? Why can't these governors who have these things in commercial quantities, who are blessed with arable land, who have solid minerals, why can't they look inwards and develop? China has been mining gold in the north. Has it been legal?
No, I don't.
Can we ask questions?
I don't know about that.
Well, you don't know about that, but you also said.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Anything that is done illegally.
But you
have
also said on this show, under this conversation, that illegal mining is going on in the north.
Yes.
And mining is privatized in the north. So, how come the North that have this gold in commercial quantity, have diamond in commercial quantity, cannot build the economy of the North? Good. Can we start asking questions?
Let me, you ask your own question.
Yes, go ahead.
Tell me what you know about the Land Use Act.
I'm the moderator. I'm not bound to answer you.
So you are not bound to answer me.
Yes.
This is an interaction.
Yes, it's an interaction. I'm at liberty.
The Land Use Act says that everything under the ground belongs to the government of the federation. And that is one. Two, There is no law in this country that are permitted that each of the state of the federation, you are free to use whatever mineral resources in your state. You are free to exploit it and spend it alone or pay some percentage to the federal.
Is gold in the exclusive list? Is it in the exclusive list?
It's not in the exclusive list.
But is there amount in the
But is there any law that permitted the state to run it?
Is there amount in the exclusive list?
Is there any law that permitted all this, that permitted state to operate on them? On their own?
They can operate, actually.
No.
They can operate.
No.
It's not in the exclusive list.
Without constitutional backing, they cannot. Without constitutional backing, they cannot.
What exactly makes oil on the exclusive list?
If they are free to operate, we don't need Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals. Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals.
Do we have Federal Ministry of Agriculture?
We have Federal Ministry of Agriculture.
Do we have private agriculture or agriculturists?
Yes.
All right, that answers your question.
No. Agriculture is different from solid minerals.
Do we have states? Do we have states that have invested in agriculture?
Agriculture is different from solid minerals. The Land Use Act, when Obasanjo was the military head of state, stated clearly, they did not say anything on top of the land. Anything beneath belong to the federal government.
Now, before we
round up, it did not even belong to state government.
We're almost done.
Yes.
Before we round up, what is the implication of oil being on the exclusive list?
The implication?
Yes.
Of oil?
Yes.
Is according to the dictate of the law.
What is the implication?
The implication is that whatever that we get from it belong to
the federal government.
For the federal government.
That answer.
What I expect the federal government to do now is that gold too should be in the exclusive list.
You've just answered it. That was why I was asking you that question.
It should be in the exclusive list.
All right.
So that the people you are taking this one.
Don't you now think that this tax reform is going to answer economic imbalance in Nigerian system?
This is a sectional.
Don't you think it's going?
This is sectional tax.
Don't you think it's going to answer to the economic imbalance at this point?
This is self-centered tax reform.
All right, very well. Unfortunately, we are out of time, Chief Jackson. We are out of time. If not, I wish we had more time to dwell on this because there are so many sections. There are sections that are actually quite controversial that Nigerians need to know and start asking questions.
Yes.
And I believe that proper public hearing should be had. Dialogues should be exhausted from all quarters. And Nigerians should have a say in this tax reform bill, actually. It's actually worrisome, probably, that it has passed second reading without the input of people. And considering the fact that the House of Rep, who said they were going to hold public hearing on local government autonomy and tax reform bill on December 3rd, has come out to announce as of yesterday that it has been postponed indefinitely. I don't know what that means, but it is where we are now.
If they see, at the end of the day, my own ear is that anything that will differentiate the north from the south, I don't like it. Whatever we can do for us to remain one Nigeria will be done.
One Nigeria is very important, but it's also very important that our economy grows and that the government and the state governors begin to look inwards and actually use that which nature has given them.
Let the federal government
to develop
through the Ministry of Solid Mineral begin to explore the gold in Zamfara, in Osun, in Kebbi, in some part of Katsina.
Right.
You understand? Let the federal government begin the way we are doing to oil. Let us begin to do for a former governor of Rivers State some times ago attacked the governor of Zamfara State. He said, you are talking about oil. He said, the gold in your place.
All right.
What is happening to it?